Doreen Bonaloni, the muse with the message. If you're still waving a flag, I'm speaking to Americans. If you're still waving a flag like, oh, I'm part of the Democrats, oh, I'm part of the Republicans, oh, it's this and that, it's all this and that, it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault. You are the problem. I'll say that again. You are the problem. If you're waving a blue flag or a red flag, you have been fooled, duped, manipulated. And instead of using your personal power to do something in this world that would change the way things are, to go after those who are guilty and responsible for harming humanity, instead you've gotten sucked into the it's all about the other team. And I'm going to fight the other team, and that's where my energy and effort are going to go. Newsflash, follow the money. The exact same corporate elite funding has been funding the candidates in the Democratic and Republican Party for generations. Look into this. There is not two parties in this country. There's not. There's a corporate elite, and then there's everybody else. That's it. And the corporate elite pay, bribe, manipulate, lobby for what will serve the corporate elite only, and absolutely torture and harm humanity in every evil, unthinkable way. It is so dark and so terrible that you can't even handle it. Because if you really looked into it, you'd be too afraid. So you believing, oh, this politician has my back, and this party, if they just won, everything would be better. Newsflash, we have had presidents, House representatives, Congress, judicial members of the Supreme Court, whatever. We've had an overwhelming majority at times of blue team, of red team, of blue team, of red team. Notice everything in the country just gets worse and worse and worse. Sure, we might have a teeny bit better taxes under one party. We might have a little teeny bit less poverty, and the weakest, the most impoverished people getting a teeny bit more little, breadcrumbs thrown their way through food programs or whatever. We might have a teeny bit more, teacher salaries going up and something like that. But it's all just crumbs. It's all just breadcrumbs to distract you, to fool you, to trick you, so that you won't go after what's really going on. You won't go after the people who are pulling the strings for both parties, the puppet masters. Because everyone that you've ever seen get to the point where they're actually running for a president or a major party, a major position in politics, they have had the corporate elite throwing the money and the platform and giving them their voice to get them there. They did not magically get there because they're good, wholesome people. And notice how many people start out, they'll have a lifetime campaigning in a certain way or for certain causes. And then once they get near a political position, suddenly they're just like, I repeat the narrative. Whether you agreed with them before or not, you have to recognize how many politicians change their story when they get closer to the top. And that is not a coincidence. Either all along they were a scam, or a lot of them, what happens is they were not a scam all along, but once they get close to that, they actually get hypnotized and drugged into saying whatever, the corporate elite want them to say. Or they have images of their loved ones with guns to their head while they're sleeping in front of their face every morning when they wake up, and then they are going to say and do whatever they're told to do. Good little slaves. Yeah. So the way around this is we've got to tear it apart. We've got to call out the truth. We've got to look at who this corporate elite is and how they've so succinctly managed to turn everyone into this ridiculous bipartisanal nonsense and BS and scam. And it is fake. And let me give you the classic example of what's really going on with our American politics. So years ago, there was something called the Cola Wars. And I'm not talking about cocaine. I'm actually talking about Coca-Colas and Pepsi. And there was this huge campaign in the media, like, you have to choose a side. Are you a Coke drinker or a Pepsi drinker, a Coke drinker or a Pepsi drinker, a Coke drinker or a Pepsi drinker? Choose. And then people felt like they were part of something, like, oh, I'm part of the Coke team. Oh, I'm part of the Pepsi team. I'm part of something. I'm part of a movement. I'm part of something. Okay. And what is fascinating about the Cola Wars is that Coke and Pepsi were owned by the same parent company, the same cola conglomerate behind the scenes way back. And again, there'll be like a few sub companies to hide it. But if you followed the money all the way to the top, you would find one master grocery conglomerate company owned both. And the whole cola war scam totally succeeded in driving the public into drinking way more Coca-Cola, way more. I mean, cola beverages, Coke, Pepsi, whatever. Way more cola beverages were consumed when people thought there was a war and they were going to choose sides and they were going to be part of a group. They're going to belong. Human beings want to belong. We want to be on a team. And the place to do that is really like the soccer field. You know, the world loves football for a reason. And being a part of a team and fighting and competing and going for the ball and winning and losing and being a part of it, and then the camaraderie and the team like jersey and the whole thing, and having a team name and team spirit and team cheering and all that. Humans crave that and need that, and it has a place. It's on the field with a ball. That's where it's for. It doesn't belong in politics. It doesn't belong in your food. It doesn't belong in your kitchen or your family. No. Competition outside of the appropriate place is toxic. It destroys humanity. Humanity is not competitive. They are cooperative. All of your ancestors survived because they were part of cooperatives, cooperative tribes, cooperative societies, cooperative civilizations, cooperative groups. The ones who were very competitive, they didn't make it. They didn't make it. That's a recent problem. And this whole like myth of independence thing, humans are not independent. That's ridiculous. You're born dependent, like super dependent. And then you age into being interdependent. Okay, and then they're like, oh no, it's codependent, it's codependent, it's codependent. That's almost myth. There is a level of like unhealthy boundaries and addiction and people who support people who are falling down instead of trying to pick them up and whatever. But on the other extreme is they're trying to teach you like, oh, someone's suffering and falling down, abandon them. That's the whole myth of independence. It's a myth. Interdependence doesn't look like that. Interdependence is where you recognize I'm separate. I'm my own person. I do have to take care of myself, but I'm a part of other people. And like if my parents and children and spouse and brothers and sisters and neighbors and community members, other people in my business or my organizations I belong to, my clubs, whatever, if they're not well, physically well, mentally well, resource-wise well, if they're starving, if they're sick, if they're mentally ill, if they're depressed, if they're aggressive, if they're angry, if they're violent, it will leak onto me. You do not live in a little bubble of one person. You are part of the human species, the human race, the human collective, the human collaboration. You are interdependent. You are not independent. You're not. That's a lie. That's a myth, and it's BS. You are born totally dependent, and you will die totally dependent. Unless you die prematurely in like an accident or something. Even then, the only way you're going to survive something like that will be if there's a movement of other people trying to save your life and help you and rescue you, and then other people who care for you in your recovery stage or whatever that is. You're interdependent. You don't live in a bubble by yourself, okay? So don't pick sides. Be a part of something that makes sense. Be a part of movements that go towards a collaborative, better future for everyone, okay? And then people want to trick you with terms like, oh, that's communism, that's socialism, that's this. Those people are just scamming you. They're just scamming you because this world has not seen a communist country. No, we're seeing dictatorships, we're seeing oligarchies, we're seeing, a million other terms. Like if you really want to look into it, there's like a lot of terms that can dissect these countries with that claim they're communists, or, oh, that's a socialist country. Socialism is bad. And we have not seen that either. You're seeing different forms of collective republics and representational republics or whatever. Oh, it's a democracy. It's bad. It's just, you've never seen a democracy either. Oh, we live in one. I'm in America. Nope. You are in a republic. You are not in a democracy. That's BS. Okay. Now, I'm not going to argue about all that because it's just going to confuse you. Just, you're going to have to look into the reality that controlled opposition works. It has brainwashed you into believing a bunch of BS that's not true. You are a human being. You're a part of the human species. You're a part of many groups. You're part of a biological family. You're part of the families that you create as you grow up, even if you have roommates or whatever, like your household family. You're part of a work family, most people. You're part of a lot of people have a religion or something that to them is their binding community, like they're part of a dance community or a music community or a belief of some kind or an educational community or something. You're a part of something. And if you're not a part of anything, then you're a sad, miserable, lonely human being who really should give yourself a chance. You're worth more than that. Somebody does want to talk to you. Somebody does want to be helped by you. Someone wants to help you. Somebody out there. And yet, that myth of independence is really taking its toll on American culture, and we are getting to that point where people really don't feel like they should be reaching out and helping their neighbors or people that are in their community, and it's sad. It's really sad. Even like the good old fashioned like churches and stuff in the past, like you could always rely on like someone would help you, like you're a single mom and someone would help watch your kids, or you're hungry, you lost your job and things are hard, someone would help feed you. Now we even have these selfish, like people within these communities that used to be your care center, your extended family. It's really sad, but wherever you have the chance to break away from that, wherever you have authority, autonomy, the ability to create a community that will actually be there for other people, that will lend a shoulder for someone to cry on, that will make a meal for someone who's hungry, that will pick up and transport somebody who doesn't have a car or their car breaks down or they're on tough times or whatever. What about childcare? I mean, come on. People used to actually be available to help watch other people's kids. That was just a thing. Now it's like this big arrange, like, oh, I've got to pay a childcare center. I've got to take my kid to this facility or whatever. We've got to get away from that. We got to get a little more family oriented, a little more reality that we are connected. We're not at war with each other. We're not picking sides. We're not part of, you want to belong to something so badly that you want to be in competition to belong to something. That's the wrong place to belong. Find a community that is a cooperative community, a collective community, a supportive community, a giving community, a benevolent community, an altruistic community, and be a part of that. And if you are like on a political side or you are a part of something, you really feel that you are a part of that, the first people to go after is not competing and fighting the other team. It is clean up your own team. Clean up your own act. If you really identify with a religion, clean up your own religion. Make sure that they are preaching love and kindness and altruism and they're really helping people and doing the right thing and they're not judging, they're not looking down and being like, oh, these people are evil and we're going to hate them and whatever. Don't get on a team that's all about hating someone and having an enemy. Mutual enemies do bond people. I understand that. It's just super unhealthy, immature, and it has the end goal of something terrible that you don't want. You don't want the future where the only way we bond is in competition and the only camaraderie we have is to be part of a hating group. You don't want that future. You don't. Trust me. So make sure that you are finding your connection in your community and your strength and your camaraderie, not by mutual enemy, but by mutual cause of something beautiful and something better. Be better and make sure that your group is better. If you're in a political party, attack your political party. If you're part of a church community, attack your own church community. If you're part of a neighborhood association, attack your own neighborhood. If you feel like you're part of the PTA association, attack your own school. I really mean it. I don't mean attack them maliciously or viciously or violently. I mean clean them up. Make sure that they're holding to the principles and values that they claim they are and that you believe in. Make sure that they're doing good with whatever power and authority and influence they have. And when groups come together, make sure that the mob mentality is one of altruism and of building and construction and uplifting others and helping those less fortunate. Otherwise, you're just a POS and you don't deserve anything. And I'm calling you out, but really, give me a break. So, sorry this message is so harsh and bold. I'm coming out of just a lot of reality of terrible things that have been happening, and I've been hearing forces that should be the voice of reason and the voice of compassion and kindness and the call to action in a good productive way, and instead there's just hate, 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 and it's the loudest voice in the room and in the country and in the hall and in the social media platform. There's just so much hate, and you've got to speak with truth, and truth is a lot kinder, and truth is a lot more, it's action. It's not going to appeal to your laziness. So sorry, not sorry. Try harder.